Hello everyone, welcome to Zola's channel. I'm Zola. Today let's discuss whether cohabitation is replacing marriage as a contemporary trend. You are welcome to think about this phenomenon together with me. According to data provided by the Australian Institute of Family Studies, cohabiting couples have gradually increased as a percentage of all couples, from 5.7% in 1986 to 16.2% in 2011. This implies a change in people's lifestyle and perceptions, with a trend toward individualization that leads them to choose a life that is beneficial to them. I will analyze how this phenomenon affects individuals and Australian society in three aspects. The first is why contemporary young people tend to choose to become cohabiting couples. The second is what are the main reasons for the decline in marriage rate. And the third is what are the similarities and the differences between cohabitation and marriage. Since the late 1980s, young people have been increasingly inclined to cohabitation. According to Australian Institute of Family Studies 2020, the cohabitation rate of young people even reaches 80%. Kuvlin and Timberlake think there are three main categories used to describe cohabitation: alternative to marriage, prelude to marriage, and alternative to being single. As an alternative to marriage, cohabitants are similar to married couple in that they share a same home, and some people consider cohabitants to be a couple who are not legally bound. The relationship is more similar to Jaden's pure relationship, where the individual stays in the relationship because it satisfies their needs. Pure relationship is really not bounded by liability and is a stronger equal and freer partnership compared to traditional marital relationships. Cohabitation as a prelude to marriage is often used by couples to test whether their habits suit each other. For those who cohabit as an alternative to being single, they may be motivated to live together because of financial, housing, and convenience. The increased individual consciousness of young people has led them to seek a freer and more egalitarian relationship, and a more inclusive social environment has also influenced their choices of lifestyle. The Australian Bureau of Statistics survey found that the marriage rate has been declining since 1980s. The main reason for this is that the mindset of young people has changed dramatically, especially the spread of higher education for women has led them to seek economic independence and gender equality. Some feminists believe that marriage is an exploitation of women's unpaid labor by men. Women have more investment in marriage than men. Having children is considered as a woman's responsibility in marriage, and they are even expected to quit their job to become a full-time housewife. Housewives are financially supported by their husband, so once they divorce, they lose their financial resources. And because they are socially disconnected and used to doing housework and taking care of children, they lose their earning ability. My friend and I are both celibate because we believe that women have the right to choose their own life and have the ability to be financially independent. Marriage and childbirth are not the obligation for women. Therefore, the new generation of highly educated women are more likely to be celibate or choose a pure relationship instead of marriage. Cohabitation is often considered as an alternative for marriage because both cohabitation and marriage are a relationship between two individuals, but there are also many differences. The lack of legality of cohabitation means that the relationship between cohabitants is not governed by law, while marriage is governed by law and morality. And people who choose to cohabitate are inclined to be free, so they rarely commit to each other. When cohabitants want to end their relationship, they can simply separate. However, spouses have to get divorced to end their relationship in marriage. There are also differences in financial dictates of cohabitation and marriage, with cohabitants rarely paying their expenses equally. The main difference is that marriage and childbearing are more strongly linked. with most families have children. However, most cohabitants do not choose to have children, mainly because legally custody of children in unmarried cohabitation belongs only to the mother, and having children would limit their freedom. Thus, an increase in cohabitation rate may lead to a decrease in fertility rates. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Australia's fertility rate had been slowly declining over the last 3 decades. Low fertility rates are also a cause of population aging. The main difference between cohabitation and marriage is their legitimacy and social acceptance. In conclusion, cohabitation is replacing marriage as a contemporary trait, but marriage will not become obsolete. The awakening of women's consciousness have largely influenced the decline in marriage rates. A more inclusive social environment offers young people seeking freedom more options for relationships. Although cohabitation has indirectly contributed to the decline in fertility rates in Australia, it has created an inclusive and egalitarian Australian society. That's all for today. Please accept my deepest thanks for your listening. I hope my podcast gives you some new thoughts about this phenomenon.